Morning, Matt. Glenn Jessome coming at you here from Halifax, Silver Tigre Metals. Most of your audience know I'm the president and CEO of that company. Been a great year and just getting ready for this coming year. We're excited about it and just wanted to kind of look back a little bit and maybe tell you what's on the horizon for the Tigre.
Cool, looking forward to that. You also kind of caught up with our GEO, Mark Johnson, in December. I think he came away a little bit excited about what you've got. He's quite blown away by the asset itself. How do you find the conversation?
You know, I really enjoyed with him, and the nice part was for your audience, they hear me going on all the time, as I've told you. So it was nice for me to shut up, get out of the way, and let our VP Exploration, Dave Duncan, 40 years experience doing this. Boy, he's put a lot of ounces on the books in Mexico in the last decade, I think 6 or 7 million. And let him get right into the guts of the Tigre and let those two go at it. I think your folks saw that. And yeah, it was just nice to see them really talk about what this is and what it's going to be.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, well, look, for our guys who haven't seen it, go see it. It was a really solid conversation for sure, and we kind of understand what the potential of this thing can be. But like I said, I kind of wanted to take a look back on what happened in 2021, do a little bit of that with you, and see if there are lessons learned. So what was your take? You obviously, if I'm looking at your share price, you performed compared to most precious metal companies. That share price is directly opposite to the bulk of your competitors, peers, etc., who really saw share prices come off 20, 40%, that sort of level. You got to be pleased, but what were the things that worked for you?
Well, you know, on the share price, everybody looks at charts once in a while. I like our chart. There's a ski hill. You're either on the gondola going up the hill, or you're up, unfortunately, on your board or your skis coming down the hill. We've been on the gondola, and it's been fantastic. A lot of hard work. We've delivered. This is not promotion. This is deliver with the drill bit, explore, add new discovery, and we've done that. But, you know, Matt, you look back, and especially Mexico, because we focus on Mexico. You know our team, 30 years almost there, building mines. Summer of 19, look, it was the gold rush, silver rush. You know how many new entrants came in. We want them all to do very well, but we know what we're going to do. And it's really clear if you look at what we've done since that summer, how we've delivered. You know, you always want to move to the front of your peer group. We are at the front, 100%. You know, in that period of time, we've raised $40 million almost, all bought deal. No warrant in the last one we did last March, April, 23 million bucks, 60 cents. We moved our share price up from that when most have gone the other way drastically, unfortunately. And it's the quality of the investors. This should tell people when Franklin Templeton, when Steve Land runs it over there, when Sam, Maria Smirnova, when Merck, led by Peter Militis, Ranjan Fund, Ranjan leading the Libra Fund in New York. Those are front drawer institutions. That's who gives us our money. And that should tell people something. So unlimited capital going forward for what we need. 20 million bucks in the bank. We don't need any right now. I told everybody, and this is important, 3 drills. I told them we get at it hard. We started the year with 3. We ended the year with 6. 6 are already turning on that mountain for a week now after the little Christmas break that takes place in Mexico. We will escalate that number of drills, but most importantly, new discovery on the Sui vein, new discovery on the Sites Kelly vein. Man, if you saw the press release last week, a brand new vein we didn't even know was there. And of course, all of this now, the biggest part of this discovery is there's a shale horizon there. We've got tens of kilometers of quartz vein countertop that wide, multi-kilo. Now we've found a horizon close to surface, shale, black shale, where this wide precious metals is blowing out 10, 20 meters of a kilo. So, you know, it couldn't have gone better. Very happy with the year. Very happy with the team and how they perform. But, you know, let's face it, we're in the game of creating value. I'm one of the largest shareholders. I'm aligned completely with my shareholders. What we want to do is create real value and drive the share price up and continue to do that. And we have done that.
Okay, well, to that point, obviously, like I said, most of your peers, competitors came off in big time in Q4, okay? And there was a little disconnect between silver price in your case and gold price last year and the equities. right? And you get 1,800 gold and 25 silver. It's great. It's a nice place to be. But the equities weren't getting the love and attention. So you did. How do you keep and sustain this growth story of yours? Because I feel that, and I think Go Gold, your compatriot Brad Langle at Go Gold, suffered a little bit of this, which was kind of like, it's really weird, really weird, putting out these high grade numbers week after week after week, and people were fatigued to buy it. What do you do about it?
Well, we've lived that our entire careers, and Brad and I have talked about this so many times. And we talk about it before people realize it. And it is that you can put out, using me as an example, 4 kilos, 5 kilos, 86 kilos, 8 kilos in a new discovery. These are unheard of numbers. But after that, people judge you on your success. Okay, what's next? Is there 100 kilos? It doesn't exist. So from my perspective, they get numbed to it. So what you have to do is you have to keep showing, this is not about drill holes. This is about creating real value. And look, I don't need to tell you what Brad does. In the end, he doesn't worry about down or up, because you saw that resource. There'll be another. We will work towards our resource. We will work towards the next resource on this project, but always in the back of our minds, we're figuring out how we're going to build a mine and take that metal out of the ground. Okay. And that's how long we are. That's all we do.
Okay. So you're looking long term, but it's just a couple of things there, right? Okay. We need to help people coming at this new understand the way that professionals look at this. Okay. Headlines are, 7,000 grams over whatever, right? I saw a crazy one here, 82,000 grams over whatever intersection here. Grams per ton is one way of measuring. Me, analysts, talk kilos. What does that mean? Explain it to people.
So when you're looking at these kind of high grade intercepts, I'm going to tell you something, Matt, why we love this project. And this is as simple as it gets. Think about this. Everybody are building 2,000-3,000 ton per day mines, correct? Think about this. And when I looked at this first, why we bought it was the following. From 1908, you talk kilos. From 1908 to 1930, the Americans had this mine. They took, do the math in this, 100 million silver equivalent ounces out of that old mine at an average grade of almost 2.5 kilos. Guess what they took it out in? In first 10 years, it was a 100 ton per day mill. In the second year, it was a 10 years of 100, 10 years of 220 tons per day. Do you understand how rich the ore is on this mountain? It didn't change. That's what we're drilling, the same stuff. For an example, Silvercrest, just to the south of me. You all know about Silvercrest. 100 million silver equivalent ounces at 750 grams is worth $1.5 billion today. That's a simple comparison when you start saying the old timers took 100 million at 2.5 kilos, 3 times. That's what we're drilling, Matt, close to surface. This will be, if we're right, one of the highest grade and most profitable silver mines on the planet. We see that already, and we're seeing how we get there a lot quicker than anybody thinks. We'll save that for a little conversation second quarter.
Right.
I'll leave that with you.
Okay, fine. Talk to me about resource, because again, that's a way of putting a marker in the sand, which people understand. So what are you doing?
Can I share my screen? Just to show you
Sure. Crack on. Go for it.
I think we need to do that for 5 minutes. I'm always remiss to do that and get lost in things, but let me just see if we can do that. Okay, here we go. Our project, 35 kilometers. All we have talked about so far in our year and a half is right there in that little blue. It's all the same here. It's all the same here. And it's all the same over here, over 25 kilometers. We'll be drilling here, here, and here later in the year. Hold that thought. Right here is enough for us, we think, big statement, but we've done it before, to create $1 billion company. People should think about that and go look at my market cap today. I'm not a crazy man saying that. We've done that several times in our group's history in Mexico, created unicorns. We see right there being enough to do that, work to be done. I want to focus in on this though, because this is very important. You ask about resource. I'm not going to go through all the results. You've been following it. This was the first discovery, March, not even a year ago. That is 3 kilometers of the Sui vein. We have all kinds of drill holes through that. You've seen them. 10, 20 meters of a kilo, 15 meters of a kilo, 2 meters of 3, 4, 7, 8. Go look at the results. They're all there for you. That is in itself being filled in and will be that one vein, a high grade, and we call high grade half a kilo and up, large amount of silver ounces that will be put on the books by us in the 43-101. Step 1.
So what's the date of that, timing?
We are targeting to have that done this year. That's all I'm going to say. Will not be in the first half. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Secondly, that is where we drilled those results. This is the sites Kelly. That's 1.5 kilometers. We put our first 10 holes in that. In our first 10 holes, never had a drill hole in it. For our first 10 holes in that, you saw the results in December. Every one of them were a half kilo and up. I mean, let's face it, we had one that was 82,000 kilos close to surface. Super high grade. That, once it's drilled off, will be the next chunk of resource. This will not be a la cheese paw, drill it off, here's the resource. More a little bit like, but even shorter and smaller amounts, like Brad is doing. Brad just delivered 1 resource, 2 resource. He's already on the 3rd resource. You know that with Gold, okay? Big dump at Los Ricos. We'll be the same. That's going to create the value. We now, though, and this is very important. I want people to understand this, and I'm going to show you. We just made and put out last week, found a new vein right in the middle of those two, never touched, never saw before. I'm going to go show you that right now because I think it's important. And people have to start paying attention. This is the newest discovery. Sites Kelly, the Sui. This Shale Horizon is extremely, extremely important, man. Okay, I'm going to go back and show people. You want to know what the big explosion is? This hasn't hit the street yet. People haven't figured this out yet, but I want them to. What you have on this mountain are tens of kilometers of high-grade quartz vein. That's what we've been drilling for the last year and a half. You've seen it. Kilo, wide zones. What we started to see in the second half of the year was wide zones of incredible ore starting to be drilled, like you saw here, right here. This was before we put this on the map, this Shale Horizon. Look at that. That's where you're seeing 17 meters of 2.6 kilos. That's where you're seeing 82,000 grams per ton silver. What we have is, and you see it clearly here, and I'll show more, there is a Shale Horizon close to surface that goes through, we think, all of this land package. And when you get in it, what you get, that's a new vein right now, never discovered. Where that vein goes through that Shale Horizon, you want new. This is what you're going to be hearing about for the next 6 months. It's going to be amazing. You start to see this kind of stuff. 16 meters of 300, 0.6 meters of 8 kilos. You start to see 17. This is the Shale Horizons here. It's just not on that map because it's a new discovery. That's November. 17 meters of 2.6. Look at the last one we drilled on the Benjamin in this same shale. I got to go find that for you because it is fantastic. Look at this one. This is what you're starting to see now is this Shale Horizon close to surface, always within this flat formation. Remember, no mining done up here. Then I'm going to go to the big map again. Look at what we just drilled in there. 15 meters of a kilo, 100 meters from surface, 2.6 of 4.375. Hold that. Think in the horizontal, not in the vertical. Now let's go back to the map. Everywhere you see these veins, these red veins going through that shale, look what's happening. This is brand new. This is December news. I'm going to go back to the map and hypothesize if we're right, and we know we're right. I just showed you a drill hole up here in that shale, where basically 15 meters of a kilo. I just showed you on the sites Kelly in that shale, 82,000, 17 meters of 3 kilos. I just showed you all along the Sui. We've got dozens of those holes. You saw some of them in that shale where you're seeing 5, 10, 20 meters of up to a kilo. We have indications up here in our mapping and sampling. We see the shale outcropping here. Imagine, and remember, it's a horizontal. It's a horizontal that goes through all of this 20, 30 meters. And wherever any of these veins, the veins were enough, Matt. The quartz veins were enough. That was enough to have this. This shale is brand new. It just showed up on our mapping in our sections. You'll see in December. If that horizon goes under here, and wherever these veins pass through it, Tigre, Sui, Sites, New One, Protectora, Cayley, Fundadora, we're going to get that kind of blowout. All bets are off. That is the new, and people have to understand that new. That, look, I'll tell you, there's the first time it showed up. This was the press release the end of November on the Benjamin. This is the first time, and you can go back and look, that structure ever showed up in any of our cross sections. Why? Because we just discovered it. And were we expecting it? No. What happened, Matt, probably, this was in between. So I'm going to get geological on you. You know, I'm a securities lawyer, not that. But the way it's explained to me, it's very simple. As you know, this is an epithermal system. So there were volcanic events. In between the first layers being laid down, say, I'm making this up, 30 million years ago, and the next level of volcanation being laid down 15 million years ago, this whole area from what we have, and this is all historically correct. Let me just get this for you. It's very important. So people understand why this was all underwater in a giant, because as you know, shale is deposited from pressure. This was all underwater. This was an inland giant, and that's where and it's very simple. This is not complicated. That's where this layer of shale, very strange for Mexico, was laid down. And as you know, this layer of shale is acting like a giant carbon sponge, and it's just sucking the precious metals. We don't know how far it goes into this. We've been out 20 meters now, and we've nailed it. You can see what we're nailing. Look at that result. That's everywhere. Footwall, hang wall. We're going to get some vertical holes down through this. We have to. How far does that go? Remember at surface in some of the initial drilling we did, and I think this is a good one to show you on, is 4,900, which is a real good section to see. Remember what happened, and this was one of the ones we put out when we didn't know about the shale. We thought it was just a footwall zone. Remember we called it that? Now it's black shale. It's all the same. This black shale is exactly up here. That's right on the Sui. That was our first discovery hole. Look at that. 12 meters of 700, 22 of 381 outside that vein. But remember back in the day when we started at surface, we had that great plumbing around the veins where we had the gold only disseminate. That's the pit we drilled off. Right at surface, first 100 meters. You're getting the same thing kind of down here in a different structure where you have this shale and that precious metal is just getting sucked into it, which for us it's very exciting. Look, were we expecting that? Absolutely not. But when you drill around the hottest spot we've ever seen in Mexico, 100 million silver equivalent ounce, 2.5 kilos in 20 years, we knew we'd get some pleasant surprises. More veins, like we just discovered, but this is a total game changer right here. There's new. I'm guessing most of the crowd listening, even when we talked about that with your Geo and Dave, you know, they were they get up in the rocks and structures. For me, it's real simple. There was a big this deposit of shale got laid down in between the events, and this is like a big carbon sponge, and she's just sucking up that precious metals. Who knows how far it goes? You can see it here. You can see it here. You can see it. You can see it here. And it's all over. Look, you don't want to dream in Technicolor. There's no reason. I just told you about, that's all we're doing work on, buddy, right there. There's no reason it shouldn't be here. It's all the same structures. What if it goes all through here? It was all underwater. See what happens. But anyway, that's exciting. I'm going to come back. We don't need to look at this anymore. That's what's got us so fired up. You want to see what the next level is? Listen, man, we started with an open pit, drilled that off with our eyes closed. We've hit quartz veins, tens of kilometers of 1, 2, 3 meters, high multi-kilo, very profitable mine. And now all of a sudden, this shale has come out of nowhere in the last couple of months. It's kind of like we have a beautiful Sunday. This is not one cherry on top, it's 4 cherries. So what's going to happen? You want to know the change? 6 drill rigs are at it. They're all drilling. But really right now, I'm not saying it's a rule, but most of those drill holes, as you know, and we'll show you how we drill. I think it's, you know how you do a fan drilling, that fan now has to go through that shale. We know right where it is exactly, because we want to make sure we get an intercept of that vein, but we get that shale too. And we're going to be testing the footwall, hanging wall, and how wide is it. So you want to stay tuned for results coming off Suey in the shale, Sites Kelly in the shale, and the quartz vein is always in it, of course, intact. That new vein, vein number 4, we don't have a name. I'll dream something up by the next press release. Came at us quick. But remember the most prolific vein, the one down the middle, Matt, that's what people should be looking for too if you want excitement. The Tigre vein, that was the richest vein at the time. The old timers said, we'd have no drill holes under that. First drill holes are going down dip under that to the north, and you're going to see what happened there in the shale. We pretty well guess what's going to happen, but stay tuned for that. That could be very exciting, and that's imminent.
Okay, well, like I'm not going to. Thanks for going through that. I'm not going to cover all ground that you covered with Merlin in December. People should go and look at that video, and also, more importantly, go look at his summary of what he took away from that. He was quite excited. With regards to this year, just a few little questions around kind of, I guess, admin-y things. So you got $20 million in the bank. You said that's enough for you and 6 drills for the rest of this year, and possibly some kind of resource to us in second half. That's
exciting. And look, I'm going to give you a little hint here of the next thing we're going to be thinking. I'll save that one for the next video. But what we really want to start doing now, those 6 drill rigs will turn to 8. We're just going to keep hammering the kind of results we are. Shale is very important, black shale quartz. But, remember what we are at the basis, our group, Matt, we're miners. We're not drillers. You have to drill to mine. It's really just step one. We really want to start thinking about how do we get at that high grade as so quick as possible. People don't realize how valuable that ore is. That ore that I'm talking about, we're drilling now. It's almost solid metal. It's incredible. And I had a debate with one of my partners. You can guess who it was. We were in my office here having a drink, and we looked at about the size. It's not a very big office, as you can see. If my office was full of the ore we drilled on the Sites Kelly, the press release before last, just my office, it would be worth $42 million Canadian. That is the power of this high grade. This is a high grade mine, and that's what you're going to start to see come out over the next 6 months. So what we need to do, we need to get in that mine. There's a plan in works right now. We'll have that thing opened up a lot quicker than anybody thinks here. Stay tuned in the next couple of months for some more on that.
That might answer the next question, which we've had a few questions sent in with regards to tailings. If you're after a high-grade mine, you probably aren't putting tailings to the front of the queue of things to look at or spend money on.
Well, we look at all ore. Tailings are an ore. That mine is backfilled with Rasaga. Think about this. That is 3 to 4 grams per ton gold. That was the backfill. The cutoff for this mine was 1.3 kilos silver. Can you imagine? If it wasn't above that, they didn't mine it. This was the highest grade mine we've ever seen in Mexico. So tailings are ore. When we go into that mine and clean it out and get access all the way over to the Sites Kelly and touch that 1 kilo gold, that's going to happen sooner than you think. We're going to stockpile all that Rasaga. That's wonderful ore. So everything on that, we've got a pit there that's 1 million ounces already. 60% of that pit, 600, is almost 2 grams. Start doing the math in your head about how fast this can be a mine.
But my point here, Glenn, is you got $20 million and you got to spend it the best possible way to create value for shareholders. How far up the priority list is tailings for you today? I get that there's value there, but do you monetize it today or do you wait a bit?
There is a plan in the works today, prioritizing all of the things you're talking about. And I'm only going to say one thing right now, okay? We will be taking high-grade ore out of this mountain faster than anybody can imagine. And we're going to create some great value for the shareholders. But don't lose sight of what we're doing today. 6 drill rigs. We're drilling 1, 2, 3, 10, 20 kilos silver. I think we're going to probably keep doing that and hammer that. And on the side, we can't change our DNA. Some people are explorers. Some people only drill holes. They've never built a mine. Look at what's in our DNA. Everything we're thinking about now is how do we get metal out of the ground? We have a feeling in the next 5 to 10 years that there's going to be a real demand for silver. Great time to have probably one of the highest grade silver mines on the planet ready to go.
I agree with that, but I just want to nail this one because, like I said, we do get a lot of questions sent in, which is you've got so much money today. Best use is drill. I get that there's value sitting at surface in these tailings, but are you going to go and raise money now or in the near future to tackle the tailings component, or do you want to see the share price move or the silver price move before you make that decision?
Look, we've got 20 million. You know our history. You can go look at what we do. I told everybody I'd raise money at 60 cents with no warrant. We did that probably in 5 months after we did our last raise. That was very good for the shareholders, for us. Now we have all the cards. I have all the cards, Matt, with respect to raising money. I don't need to raise money. If the market goes absolutely crazy and I get to, I'm not going to say $1.20, but let's just use that number, okay? And I've more than doubled the market cap. I've got such happy shareholders. The institutions are banging on my door. And yes, I have a use for the money. I have tailings. I have a pit. I have an underground opened up by then. I'm going to do what's best for the shareholders, because guess what? I'm the largest shareholder. So you're with me. So we're going to make the right decisions on that. But rest assured, and I don't want to say too much now, give me another 2 or 3 months and we'll be chatting about it. But make no mistake, we are going to drill this thing off, and there is going to be hundreds of millions of silver equivalent ounces of high grade. Write it down. But as we go, I can't not want to go get my teeth into 82,000 grams, 7 kilos, 10 kilos, 9 kilos, 20 meters of a kilo. Like, this is mechanized mining. This is not narrow vein. This ore is so valuable. Need to get the metal out of it. And we're thinking about that. Stay tuned. We'll be talking about a lot this year. I hope I'm not confusing the issue. I don't want to, but boy, are we excited about the fact that we know we're going to hit these drill results. This shale, it's next level for us. Nobody else has that. We've got the narrow vein quartz. We got the open pit. Now we've got this Shale Horizon. That's there. That ain't going anywhere. This project's completely de-risked. It will be a mine. Write that down. And not many people can tell you that. I'm telling you that right now. But make sure you know that the mining DNA in us is going after that metal. It's that high grade. It's that high grade. And I don't even want to confuse it with CapEx. You can get at that metal so cheaply, it's not even funny. Save that for the next quarter, Matt. Save that for the next quarter.